What's good, YouTube? TheKingNappy here, back again once again. And today, people, today we have some more Pokemon Sun and Moon news and information, more so discussion videos. I know a lot of you guys probably heard about all this already, but for those of you guys who didn't, there is some wild stuff going on in the region of Alola. Pokemon are prospering, and we've now been given Alola forms of previously known Pokemon. So if you guys are hyped for Sun and Moon, and of course if you're a proud member of the Nappy Nation, make sure you smash the like button down below for us, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. Now, diving right into things, we have 5 new Alola Pokemon. As you can see on your screen, we have 5 new Alola Pokemon. We're going to break them down one at a time, starting with the Alolan Exeggutor, which at first glance looks kind of unrealistic, to say the least. This looks like a Mega Exeggutor, like Fakemon kind of thing, something you see on DeviantArt, something that you wouldn't think the Pokemon Company would actually do. But lo and behold, Alolan Exeggutor is a thing. Now, I guess this could be a video, like a conversation for another video. Alolan forms versus Megas. I mean, we might just do that. We might just do that. The idea of Alolan forms versus Megas. I don't know. To me, I guess it's just the hipster in me. Like, when Megas first came through, I was kind of just meh about them. Like, they're cool, but I didn't think they were necessarily needed in the game. I think they could have just brought us a whole new generation of Mons, and it would have been perfectly fine. But it was that new thing. It was fresh. It made Pokemon different again. And I guess that's what they're going for with these Alolan Mons. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna ask this question right now. We'll speak about it in a different video some other time. But would you rather have this be Mega Exeggutor, or do you like the idea of an Alolan Exeggutor, where it's kind of sort of the exact same thing? Because then the question comes up, you know, is its stats, or are its stats any different? You know, I understand it's different typing, but are its stats any different? Does it have the exact same base stats as a regular Exeggutor? It's just its appearance is different? I don't know. But anyways, we have the Alolan Exeggutor, who clearly has the longest neck of them all. Based around a palm tree, of course. I mean, it was a palm tree before, but now it literally is a goddamn palm tree. And it has a 4th head on its tail, too. It's the coconut Pokemon. Its typing, instead of being Grass Psychic, is now Grass Dragon, which gets rid of some of its weaknesses. Gives it a few more resistances, because I think for a long time, Exeggutor was tied with, like, Abomasnow for most weaknesses in the game. You know, damn near everything bodied Exeggutor. That was why he was so low as well, because, well, his speed stat isn't all the greatest either, but still, he's now apparently 35 feet 9 inches tall, 916 pounds, with the ability Frisk. The environment of the Alola region, where strong sunlight pours down all year round, brought about this change in Exeggutor's form. The people of Alola boast that the Alolan Exeggutor is the true form of Exeggutor. Unlike other Exeggutor, the Alolan Exeggutor has a 4th head on its tail. This 4th head controls the tail independently and can take on opponents to the rear that can't be reached by the main head's attacks. This Pokemon excels at whipping its long neck like a lash to attack with its hard heads, but that neck can sometimes become a weakness. ... What does that mean? Its neck can sometimes become a weakness. Exeggutor, as it has been seen in the past, its neck can become a weakness. That's interesting. It's interesting wording that they add there. Its neck can become a weakness. I guess they gave it the ability of Frisk, because being that tall, you can see anything and everything. Nigga, you ain't hiding shit. Whatever hold item you got, you ain't hiding it from Exeggutor. The Alolan Exeggutor. I don't know. I've always liked Exeggutor. I love its regular form. I always thought it was a cool, like, basic design for Pokemon. I don't know. The Alolan Exeggutor, I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's just the hipster in me, you know. Like when Megas first came out, it's just meh, you know? It's just meh to me. So maybe it needs to grow on me a little bit. I definitely don't dislike it. I know a lot of people look at it and think this thing looks goofy as shit. Why would Pokemon do this? This is terrible. It's just trash. I don't know. He's kind of cool, but definitely not my favorite. I don't know. It's just going to take a lot. I love the original Exeggutor. Anyways, moving on. Up next, we have the Alolan Vulpix, who is still the fox Pokemon. Instead of being pure fire typing, it's now ice typing. Its height is 2 feet, 21.8 pounds, with the ability Snow Cloak. It is said that Vulpix came to the Alola region together with humans, but the fox Pokemon moved to the snowy mountain peaks to avoid the normal habitats of other Pokemon, and thus it ended up taking on this form. These Alolan Vulpix live on high mountains that remain covered in snow year-round. They live in small packs of 2 to 5 individuals, helping one another survive. Alolan Vulpix can freeze anything solid by expelling breath at a temperature of negative 58 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 50 degrees Celsius from its mouth. It doesn't fare well in the heat, but when the temperature gets too high, it produces ice from its tail to lower the surrounding temperature. And we have regular Vulpix versus Alolan Vulpix. I think Vulpix came to the Alola region, so it's not an original Alolan Pokemon. Well, obviously. Well, then again, there's the whole idea of Zygarde. Is Zygarde originally from Kalos, since he's in Alola as well? There's the whole idea of Crawdon. Crawdon originally appeared in 3rd Gen, but we know he's not from the Hoenn region. So, I don't know. It's Alolan Vulpix. I like this is the one thing I do like about the whole idea of Alolan Mons, Alolan forms, is it sticks with the whole style, the whole genre. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for. The whole theme of evolution that Pokemon's had for so long. You know, these Pokemon didn't just evolve into something bigger and better. They literally evolved to adapt to their surroundings. Vulpix were brought to the Alolan region, and for whatever reason, I guess there were other Mons that were hunting them down or whatever. They moved to the snowy peaks, and over, I'm guessing, to make a change from fire typing to ice typing, it had to have been a millennia of years, and they changed and adapted. Now, in the Alola region, Vulpix is an ice type. It's a snow fox. So, I don't know, that's crazy. It's a crazy notion, it's a crazy idea. The only downside is that you can't find a regular Vulpix in the Alola region, so you'd have to Pokebank it over from X and Y or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire to get a regular Vulpix. Then the question becomes, how do you evolve the Vulpix? Because you originally evolved Vulpix with a Fire Stone, so are they going to introduce an Ice Stone? Or is this, I think it's just going to be like Glaceon. You're just going to have an icy rock that you have to go and visit, and that'll allow you to evolve your Vulpix. So, just be careful, because once that bitch evolves, you ain't getting no goddamn moves. Just be careful. Speaking of its evolution, we have the Alolan Ninetales as well, and this time it is Ice Fairy. Now, original Ninetales was just pure fire type. Now we have Ice Fairy. 3 foot 7 inches. I always thought Ninetales was so much bigger. 43.9 pounds, snow cloak as well. Alolan Ninetales live on a snowy peak that is revered in the Alola region as a holy mountain. They are treated as sacred emissaries, and people meet them with awe and fear. This Pokemon's personality is extremely gentle. Why are they afraid? If it's extremely gentle, why are you afraid? And at times it has helped humans who seem to be in distress. However, it shows no mercy at all to anyone or anything that dares to damage its territory. The Alolan Ninetales is able to produce ice crystals from the fur that cover its body. It can use these ice crystals to block attacks, or it can form ice balls with them, which it fires like bullets at opponents. The power of these ice missiles is great enough to pulverize rock. That's previous Ninetales versus this Ninetales. I think this Ninetales it's much more aggressive. It's much more aggressive than the other one. Like even just its pose. Before, Ninetales sat and it was seen as a thing of beauty. Now Ninetales, it's almost like it's like ice type Suicune. It's revered in the Alola region. It's sacred. It lives on a holy mountain. I think it's interesting that it's Ice Fairy type. I think that's the first when it comes to typings for type combinations. Ice Fairy. So I'm guessing that we're gonna get Ice Beam, Moonblast. Will it still learn? That's the other question. Will it still have its regular moveset? Or will its moveset be completely different to match its typing? You know, will the Alolan Vulpix learn Disarming Voice by level up before Alolan Ninetales gets Moonblast? I wonder if in-game its title is not just going to be Ninetales, but just Alolan Ninetales. I feel like it's only being presented to us as the Alolan Ninetales just to clarify between, but I feel like actually in-game it'll just be Ninetales. That'll be fine. So I don't know. The only other thing that I'm wondering about is I'm guessing its hidden ability has to be Snow Warning, because originally Vulpix and Ninetales had Drought, and it wouldn't make much sense for them to completely swap from one weather condition to another, because it has Snow Cloak as an ability. So I feel like they're going to have Snow Warning as its hidden ability, so it can put up the hail. So it lands Moonblast every single time. It lands Moonblast every single time. It lands Blizzards every single time, and Moonblast as well. This thing was literally made to kill dragons. I don't know why does Pokemon hate Dragon type so much? I don't understand. But then again, you gotta think they must love Dragon type so much they slap it on every goddamn mon in existence. 9 out of 10 times the best mons in the game are Dragon type. So I don't know. Whatever. They just I just don't think dragons deserve the treatment that they're getting. They just don't. Leave the dragons be. Let them be. Moving on, we have another set of mons that are Alolan in nature. We have the Alolan Sandshrew, and it is Ice Steel. I don't know how I feel about Steel typing. Nothing about it shouts Steel to me. I guess it's just hard body enough, but then again, Ice can be hard enough. 2'4", 88.2 pounds. He is thick, with Snow Cloak as well. Sandshrew have historically lived in the desert areas, but the frequent eruptions of nearby volcanoes drove the Sandshrew to abandon the desert and migrate to snowy mountains where they took on this form. I like that explanation better than Vulpix's. I like that one better. Sandshrew's body changed to adapt to the harsh environment of the snowy mountains. The Alolan Sandshrew has a shell of ice covering its skin, which is hard like steel. It excels defensively, but it lacks flexibility and can't curl its body into a ball like a ground-type Sandshrew can. Its heavy weight makes the Alolan Sandshrew slower than a normal Sandshrew, but the claws on its hands and feet allow it to move across ice without slipping. When it wants to move quickly, it uses its stomach to slide across the ice like a curling rock. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. I like how it looks like an igloo when it pulls its arms and legs in, and it does look like a curling rock. That's crazy. I don't know. They're definitely pointing out how much slower it is. Ice typing just in general has never been a really good defensive typing. Offensively, Ice isn't terrible. I mean, look at Frostlass, look at Weavile, look at Alolan Ninetales now. So I don't know. One thing PK brought up is you can't call it Sandshrew any longer. It's not ground typing, but that is its species name. It's just now, you know, it migrated and changed. So is it Alolan Ice Shrew? The Alolan Steel Shrew? I don't know. But still, I don't know. I just the Ice Steel typing. That's another new typing we haven't had before, right? I can't think of, out of all 700 plus mons, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's Ice Steel. But still, I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it. A defensive mon being made of ice. I mean, we have Avalugg, we have Cryogonal, some other decent defensive ice type mons, but still, when you think most defensive mons that you want to add to your team, an ice type just doesn't come to mind. Unless you're the coach of the South Beach Slowkings, season 1 of the UCL, you just scoop up Avalugg right then and there. But still, I don't know. That's just ice typing defensively. I mean, I guess there's Regice too. Mamoswine for the offensive ice types. It's just you get the point that I'm making. Well, the Alolan Sandshrew evolves into the Alolan Sandslash, which I absolutely love its design. I think its design looks dope as shit. I absolutely love it. 100,000 million bajillion %. This nigga's going Super Saiyan with ice types. Ice Steel, of course, as well. 3'11", 121.3 pounds with Snow Cloak. The Alolan Sandshrew of the Snowy Mountains evolve into Alolan Sandslash with spiny backs that are covered in ice. Thanks to their icy coating, these spines are large and sharp. Alolan Sandslash hide themselves in the snow when strong enemies appear, leaving only their needles exposed and ready for business. The weight of the ice that covers its body makes these Alolan Sandslash heavier than normal Sandslash, which causes them to be slower. Yet in snowfields and on ice, they move by creating a path with their claws so they're able to move with swiftness. The sprays of snow kicked up by an Alolan Sandslash movements are so beautiful that many photographers head for the snowy peaks to capture the moment. However, Sandslash live deep in the mountains and there is great danger of becoming stranded, so it's forbidden to climb the mountains without permission. I don't know. I personally like the Alolan Sandslash design better than the original, which is weird because I was at the beginning of the video I was talking about how hipster I was in regards to Alolan Exeggutor and whatnot, but I don't know what it is. I absolutely just love it. And if they were to make it so that its claws are made of steel, that would be dope as shit. I could understand the ice steel typing then, but still just the steel typing, I don't know, it was pure ground before, just make it pure ice this time. I don't know, I would be cooler with that. I think it's really, really odd that the first batch of Alolan mons that we're getting have so many ice types. You know, 4 of the 5 are ice typing, especially in such a tropical region. But I guess they could do the opposite. I was gonna say, because the way they made it seems like these mons were forced to go into the mountains, and that's what changed them. So what if we had mons that were already in the mountains, and because of the high temperatures, they couldn't survive? So in turn, they were forced to travel down to the beaches and whatnot. So we'd have like ground type Beartix or something like that. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what other Alolan mons they definitely send our way. I think this is a huge curveball we've been given when it comes to Sun and Moon, because before everyone was always wondering what megas we were gonna do, what megas we were gonna get, this and that, yada yada yada. Will megas even still be a thing with the presence of Alolan mons, especially since you can't trade over your mega stones because you can't trade items through Pokebank. So will Mega Evolution even be a thing in the Alola region? Is this one of those things where the Alola region takes place in a different universe or a different timeline than before? But then again, they've already acknowledged that Exeggutor is other form. So that would mean that they'd have to acknowledge that Vulpix, Ninetales, Sandshrew, and Sandslash have alternate forms in other regions. So, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't necessarily do that. I don't know. I originally had a little top 5 mini series when it comes to not even top 5. I just had a mini series of like Mega Evolutions I'd like to see in Sun and Moon that were based around the region and the climate and whatnot. But with this presence of Alolan mons, it's just, you know, what's gonna happen next? Should we even still discuss megas? Do we honestly think megas are still going to be a thing? That's a whole other idea for megas versus Alolan mons video, which I'm sure will come soon. But still, let me know what you guys think about these Alolan forms for these Pokemon. Alolan Exeggutor, Alolan Vulpix, Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Sandshrew, Alolan Sandslash. Do you think that we're going to get additional Alolan mons that are going to be kind of reversed, where they were in the mountains and now they're down in the warmer parts of the region? I don't know. It was a curveball, definitely thrown. I don't think anyone could have ever expected this to come, completely changing up the typings of mons altogether. You know, it's like we're playing a ROM hack. It's kind of crazy, kind of wild. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. You guys know we're all Pokemon nerds, and we love to have the discourse and the conversation. If you guys are hyped for Sun and Moon, and of course if you're a proud member of the Nappy Nation, make sure you smash the like button down below for us. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a moment of Pokemon Sun and Moon news and information. But with that, I'm gonna get about. Thank you all once again for your support, and thank you for checking the video. We out this bitch. Bye.